Welcome to an Out of the Park 25 video on the 2039 Baltimore Orioles. My last video showed you the awesome start. I think we were, 29-4, I think, in that video. We're now 45-8 in the year 2039. Still, I think the best start I've ever had. We're June 1st. I think I don't think I've ever been June 1st and only lost 8 games. But anyways, this video is not going to focus on the team at large. What I want to show you is the kind of passing of the torch here in Baltimore, the end of one era as we are transitioning into another, and show you the real-life, current 2024 real-life Orioles players who are still with me or have been a big part of this sim. There's really like a big three. It's Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson, and Samuel Basallo. You can see I'm here some career leaderboards here because I was messing around with stuff. But Holliday and Henderson are still on the team in 2039. Basallo just finished his time with the team in 2038. We're going to look at the careers they've had, where they stack up in Orioles history, MLB history. There are other guys who were with me for a while, like Kjerstad and Mayo was with me for a while. But these are the big three that spent the most amount of time with the team. So I'm going to focus on them for this video. Let's look first, just kind of like a quick scan at this is their player page. You can see Holliday's led the league in WAR 3 times, WRC plus once. If we go to the more what they call basic batting stats, he's led it in runs many times, walks several times, stolen bases, and a stolen base percentage. That seems really good to me. It's just a lot of red ink here. He's won 2 MVPs. He won it in 2026 and 2027. He's made a ton of All-Star games. For some reason, I didn't, in this sim, set it up where it stacks it and tells you how many they are. So we'll just have to live with it. So he's made 4, 8, 10 All-Star games. He's won 7 Silver Sluggers. So just a really great career. You can see the totals here. We'll get more into them in a bit in terms of how they stack up in Orioles history and current MLB players, MLB history. But just overall, let me go back to the view I'm used to here. Overall, just absolutely fantastic. He kept it, around a 6'4" player through age 30, and then kind of has tailed off a bit, but he's still above league average both in WRC plus and his fielding. And at the age of 35, to still be doing that is great. Now, I do have his power. I should say his power is kind of what home run power is what's kind of trailed off here lately. That shows up in a slug that's gone down too, but still managing to be a really effective player at the age of 35. I have the batter aging speed at 0.80 in this sim. It hasn't been that the whole time. I've tweaked it off and on. As I've gone through the sim and adjusted to Out of the Park 25. That's what I've settled on. And this is more to be this good at 35 at 0.8 aging speed. Did I say development? I went 0.8 aging speed for hitters. This is the exception. Most guys are not still this good at 35 and don't say this good through 30. I would say kind of anecdotally my observations are that. But that's Holliday. We're going to jump into more detail in a minute. Gunnar Henderson, you can see he's 37. There's not a lot going on here with Gunnar at this point. I just refuse to let him go play for another team or be a free agent. As long as he's playing, he's going to be on my team. And it's getting tough at this point. We'll get into how much he's tailed off. He won the MVP in 2025 and then didn't win another one. He won Rookie of the Year in real life in 2023. Only 4 All-Star games, 5 Silver Sluggers. Let's take a look at old Gunnar here. You can see this is where we hopped in, and he was hurt for some of that first season. Then 2025 was his monster season and was still just an absolute beast through the age of 27. And then after that, 100 is a league average hitter, about 2 WAR over 162 games as a league average player. He was still above league average here for quite some time, really up through age 34. But he was just, he was kind of like a perennial All-Star / MVP candidate, probably got a lot of MVP votes in some of these seasons. But after that, it's kind of like after age 27, a little bit of a bummer here for Gunnar. Well, he wasn't bad. He just wasn't MVP worthy. And, I kept him around because I like Gunnar Henderson a lot in real life. He's one of my favorite, on track to be one of my favorite Orioles of all time in real life. And I just decided in this sim, I was riding with Gunnar no matter what. Holliday, I was pretty committed to keeping, and it turned out that it worked well to keep him. Same with Basallo. But with Gunnar, I was just going to keep him around no matter what happens. You can see 2038 and 2039, that's gotten a little rough. I mean, he's just destroyed his career rate stats. Like he's fallen off a lot of the leaderboards in slug, on base. I think he might have been up there in average at some point. So he's the counting stats, he's obviously still up there, but the last several seasons have not done him any favors in terms of how his final career stats will look. Next, I'm going to go to Basallo, who you'll see a similar pattern here. And again, these are with the 0.8 development speed for at least the last 7 years, I'd say. He's only 34. He's about to turn 35, and he didn't sign anywhere. He hasn't caught on anywhere for the 2039 season. And let's look at his batting stats and see he has 467 home runs. I don't remember I didn't take the time to figure it out, do the backwards math, but he was the second youngest player to 300 and 400 home runs in MLB history. I looked it up when he hit them. Like only A-Rod hits 300 and 400 home run milestones quicker than a Basallo, and he was less than a year behind A-Rod's pace. But then you can just see at age 29 after that, he had some injuries and some performance issues. And I'm talking about just home runs here. Really, after age 27, he wasn't really the same player. And when he was the same player, he had issues staying healthy, you can see. So, at this point in his career, through age 27, I was like, man, this guy, maybe he can catch Bonds, maybe. And then he, started to get worrisome here as the strikeouts ticked up, the walks ticked down, but he was still hitting a lot of bombs. But eventually Father Time came for him a little earlier than I was hoping. And then I was like, well, I'll get him to 500. And then after these 2 seasons, I was like, man, we can't even get this guy to 500 home runs. I couldn't keep him and Gunnar on my roster as bench players with the organization I had. We're still winning right now. And so it was a little bit of a bummer to let him go when I did, but there really wasn't much of a point for me. If I thought he was going to reach 500 home runs, I would have kept him around to do that, but I don't think he was going to do that. He's not going to reach 2,000 hits, so he hasn't called on anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if he just kind of retires. I don't know. Maybe he'll catch on and play some indie ball, but you do see that sometimes guys will miss a year or two, won't be signed, and then all of a sudden they'll catch on somewhere, but he just hasn't called anywhere for the 2039 season. I actually don't even know what he's asking for. Yeah, a minor league contract. I'm sure he would sign for just minor league deal, but I'm not going to do that. But some of these seasons, he led the league in home runs 4 times, RBI 2 times, slug once. Just a monster power hitter in the middle of our lineup for the better part of a decade. And then it got disappointing after that. Now let's hop into where they are on the all-time Orioles leaderboards. I might miss some of these as I'm going down, so you guys can kind of peruse this page. I'm going to focus on the career batting leaders and try not to miss anything. They are on the season average, single season leaderboards as well. Ocampo is a current player. Fun fact. Obviously he's going to trail off. He's 29, so the fact, him keeping up that batting average as he goes into his 30s, not a good chance. But on base percentage, Holliday has started to slip. He was up much higher on this earlier in his career. He's now 9th. I don't know if he's going to be able to stay on the leaderboard here long term. Slugging percentage, as I was saying, Holliday and Gunnar have both fallen off of this. Basallo, one advantage of him piecing out is he's not around to tank his numbers. So right now he's second all time in Orioles history in slugging percentage. He's got multiple single seasons over here. Sandwich right between Frank Robinson and Rafael Palmeiro. Ocampo, current guy. Kjerstad is there. Petercini. He is also a current guy. Joe Kelly's at the catcher? Oh, no, different guy. Okay. I had a catcher who is something Kelly. OPS, you can see Holliday's still here, and Basallo and Gunnar are not here. Yeah, Gunnar's really not on any of these rate leaderboards anymore, just the counting stat ones because of how bad he's been. At one point it looked like Gunnar was a shoo-in to blow past Cal Ripken for second place in career WAR, but that's not really going to happen now at this point. You can see he's had negative 1.1 WAR over the last year, 2 seasons. So he was looking like he was going to catch Cal, and now he's just fallen back and probably not going to happen. Jackson Holliday comfortably the all-time Orioles leader in batter WAR. Gunnar over here with the single season record is 9.8. Holliday 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then Gunnar at 7th and 8th. So pretty awesome there. Games, Gunnar 3rd, Holliday 4th, Basallo 9th. Would they? So no, I don't know. None of them are going to catch Cal or Brooks in that. At bats, 3rd and 4th behind Cal and Brooks. Basallo 6th. They're not going to catch these guys in their career. They'd have to play another 19 decades or so. Runs. Don't think Holliday's. He's 35. I don't think he's going to catch Cal there. But 2nd and 3rd probably here. Basallo just 2 runs behind Eddie Murray in about 600 fewer plate appearances. Let's move on to hits. Holliday, he could this season pass Willie Keeler and Eddie Murray. Look at these seasons Willie Keeler had back in the 1800s. Way to go. He could pass them. He's not going to pass Cal or Brooks. Gunnar probably just going to finish right there. I don't know if he has another like 50-ish hits to get up into this category. We'll see. What does he have this year? He's had. So we've played just over 53 games, and he has 9 hits in 16 games. So he's just not playing because I have a really good team, and I'm just trying to keep him on the roster and get him playing time like a few times a month. That's where he's at right now. Total bases, Holliday is going to pass Gunnar, and Basallo is 6th. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that there's going to be any more movement for those guys beyond that. You can be Basallo 2030 season at 391 total bases, a single season nose record. Singles, Holliday and Gunnar. Holliday, yeah, I don't know. They'll probably end up there. Doubles, Holliday is under contract for next year too. He could catch Brooks there. Definitely not catching Cal. Gunnar's probably going to end up 4th. Triples. Triples are so random. Who knows? Like they could both end up ahead of Brooks, or they could both end up right where they are. But there's a big bunch here in the numbers below 70. Home runs. You can see Basallo, all-time leader in home runs for the O's in 5,000 fewer plate appearances than Cal. Over here, he's got 1st, 3rd, 9th, and 10th all-time single season. Gunnar's not going to pass anybody else. Holliday could pass Eddie Murray. He could pass Gunnar. I don't know. He's only been hitting like 10 a season, so I think that's a stretch to pass Gunnar. I think he's going to be hard-pressed to pass Murray in a season and a half. Now, that depends on what happens with him after the 2040 season when he's a free agent. RBIs. Basallo, 3rd all-time. He passed Murray, but behind the Cal and Brooks duo that are at the top of so many of these leaderboards. Holliday will pass Boog Powell. Will he pass Gunnar? That's going to take like another 100. I don't know. I'm not so sure that he will. Holliday blowing everybody away in the career leaderboard for stolen bases. Gunnar probably not going to catch John McGraw. I don't think he's going to steal 12 more bases at this point in his career. Now, what's really impressive is Holliday and Gunnar are not on the caught stealing leaderboard. Walks, of course, in this modern day, if you accumulate enough plate appearances, you're probably going to have a lot of the league leaders in walks and strikeouts for your franchise. You got Holliday 1st, Gunnar 2nd, and Samuel Basallo is 10th here, cracking the top 10. And hit by pitch, Kjerstad is 3rd there. Strikeouts, yeah, like I said, they're the top 3 in strikeouts. Not really all that unexpected. But in terms of top 10 seasons, like only Basallo cracked this once. Gunnar and Jackson did not crack it. So now to take a look at, let's go to it this way, to the current active players in hits. You can see Soto at age 40 in Chicago is leading it. I'm not going to go too deep dive. You guys can take a look at these other players that are here. I'm going to focus this video on Jackson, Gunnar, and Basallo, where they are. But you can see, some names you definitely know here. So Holliday is 1 of the 4, 5, 6th all-time in active hit leaders. Gunnar is 7th. Doubles, yeah, Holliday's there. Gunnar's here. Home runs. This is always a fun one to look at. We got 2 active players over 550, Soto and Acuna. But Gunnar is here with 352. Holliday there at 322. Career walks, Juan Soto. 2,387. I do want to see if you include retired players. I've got a career plate appearance filter on here. It's like 1,000 plate appearances, I think. So he's second all time. He needs like 180 more to pass Bonds. I don't know that that's going to happen at this point. How many times is he walking per season right now? Yeah, I don't think at age 40 that he's going to catch him, but wow, to get that close. Any other active players here? I don't think so, no. Okay, let's take the retired players out for a second. Career, these are batters with over 1,000 career plate appearances. WAR, Holliday leading the way over Soto, Acuna, and then a pretty big gap until Julio. There's Gunnar, right below Max Clark. Basallo's not on here. He only put up 30-some. Oh, wait, where was Basallo in home runs, by the way? I think I skipped over that. Yeah, 4th. He ended up 4th. Lazaro Montes, is he still doing a lot of stuff? Oh, he's really been struggling here. Oh my gosh, look at these last 3 years. So you can see, he's 34. And by the way, I know some of you guys give me a hard time because it would flip to between head and OSA and I wouldn't notice it. I figured out is when I look at retired players, it automatically takes you to OSA, even no matter what you're looking at on the page, and then I forget to flip it back. But anyways, that's where he is. Basallo is there, and I already hit you with Holliday and Henderson on these. Stolen base leaderboard, you can see that Acuna is ahead of Holliday, but Holliday's second. Here's Gunnar right here in 6th place. And now a couple fun things to do is if we include retired players and look at WAR to see where Jackson might end up. I think he's got about 82 now. So here he is. I always thought Green was for like Hall of Fame. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. You guys can let me know. But I thought that was for players in the Hall of Fame, and Holliday's highlighted green right now. They've just already put him in. So I think he could in the next season and a little more than a half, and I think he'll play beyond that too. But I think he could pass Chipper, which then puts him on the on track to maybe get to Rose. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he could do it. He could put up another 5 WAR and possibly pass Pete Rose. What is it? I think it's 25 on a page here to be in the top 25 all time. Maybe he could pass Yastrzemski, but I think anything higher than that is kind of a stretch at this point. Gunnar obviously way further down. He's pages back here. There he is. But he's in company with Beltre, Roberto Clemente, Ryan Sandberg. I did say Ryan, not Ryan, for any pronunciation police who are out there. Yeah, but if anything, he's probably going to fall a little bit with the way he's playing. But pretty good company for Gunnar in terms of how he's done. So that's the quick overview. I don't know if it was quick. That's the overview I wanted to give you of those 3 guys who have just kind of stuck around and been my guys here for this sim. Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holliday, Samuel Basallo. I'd be pretty happy if their careers turned out this way in real life overall. Although, hoping Gunnar, the Gunnar career is awesome. Like, it's hard to be like, oh, what a disappointment when he's like one of the greatest Orioles of all time. And, but just like, he didn't post after age 27. He didn't post over like 3.8 WAR. So a little bit of a bummer there post age 27, but this peak was good enough. And then he kind of maintained this above league average-ish player through age 34, that his career is excellent, but I would be pretty bummed if Gunnar trailed off this much after age 27 in real life. But thank you guys for watching. I will say, if you're still watching, I would really appreciate if you check the link in the description of this video. I'm trying to reach my fundraising goal to raise money for Parkinson's research. I have not yet hit my goal. Thank you to those of you who have already donated. If you don't mind taking a look, if you have the means to donate $1, $5, whatever, no worries if you don't, obviously. But if you have the means to donate, I'd appreciate anybody who could help me reach my fundraising goal for this year to raise money for Parkinson's research. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching this video on Gunnar, Jackson, and Samuel. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.